Say there's every NRL player has an NFT attached to the name. So say Sam Walker, and then you've got your base NFTs, and there's 500 units of those, and you sell each of those for $100. So they potentially could make $50,000 off their own IP, and then off the back of that, the same way Gary Vee's got like a higher level one, same way sports cards, same way movie tickets is gold class. You have these different types of levels.
Back.
Bro, are we recording?
Yeah.
Bro, the irony of this happening when we'll literally just talk about it inside YKTR.
If there was ever a day for it to happen, I think today was the day. Look at this smile, everyone.
Oh, yeah. But the funny thing was, he just goes, accountable.
Yeah. We did it straight away.
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
So we've just recorded, but I think we didn't think it was good enough, and then somehow the battery on the record button on the camera wasn't turned on, so... Yeah. We're back for round 2.
Grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for the test run.
Captain's run earlier today, so rolling into the big game. You said you like your footy analogies?
Bro, I was literally just talking about it inside YKTR, so fuck it.
So now, first topic, we are here. Welcome back to YKTR Trending, a segment of the ICE project where we talk about everything that ICE and I talk about when we're having our coffees in the morning.
We don't really talk about this much anymore, eh? Just because everyone's like a lot busier.
Yeah, exactly.
It just used to be me and you. We're chopping it up all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we still, obviously, I'm sending you stuff via DM and whatnot. But here we are, topics for today. We've got some good ones. The first one we're starting with is Spotify. They're starting to dabble with live stream concerts. The first one is on the 27th of May, and it is the Black Keys.
Are they good?
Black Keys are a good band.
Yeah.
I can't remember their main song. They've got an iconic, like, sort of like rocky song. I will find it as you start.
I know Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges is in June 17, so you're a fan of Leon Bridges. But yeah, to get back into why that's a topic, I think during COVID, there's been a few examples of how live streaming and music have collaborated. We've seen the Travis Scott as the number one example through Fortnite. Concerts like Tiny Desk Concert, Triple J, like a version in the mornings have really exploded. They've been massive for a while, but really exploded in the times of COVID. What are your thoughts on the whole live streaming model? It's $15 a month. It's a $15 ticket, or it's $15 a month to get into these live concerts. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I love it. Obviously, like when we talked about just before, and we're going to be referencing a lot of our old chats here. If you look at somewhere like Coachella and they can get 100,000 people in, when you move to something online, you open up to the whole world as long as they got Spotify, as long as they got Wi-Fi, and as long as they got a laptop, iPhone, or iPad, or even TV. So it's going to be super exciting. The big topic that we sort of talked about was VR. So this is going to be the big play in sort of 8 years from now. So Spotify are sort of planning ahead for this. I don't know this for a fact, but this is just my opinion. Once virtual reality comes along and everyone's got a VR set in their house, we go from going home watching TV to going home to looking at your phone to going home and spending an hour or two on VR every night. Things are going to start to get very, very interesting. And if you got 100 million people paying $15 for a Justin Bieber concert that they don't have to fly to, that they don't have to pay hotel tickets to take time off work. They can sit in the comfort of their own home, which everyone's gotten used to off the back of COVID, and watch a concert for $15. Man, the production value of that's going to be second to none. Everyone's going to get a front row seat.
100%. That's like, there's been so many examples of it. I mentioned the two earlier, but then like you've got Justin Bieber doing his New Year's concert via YouTube, Post Malone doing a Pokemon concert on the anniversary, all live in the Pokemon world. It's where everything's going, and people just, like you said, if you can just watch something online, and there's a difference to listening to an artist sing live, especially someone with like a Bieber with that vocal capability or whatnot. There's definitely a huge market for that, to people sitting at home, especially during COVID. It's sort of been like the hand's been forced with this sort of stuff, but then so much good shit has come off the back of everyone's hand being forced in COVID. Yeah,
no, agree. And like if you revert COVID back to fashion, like during COVID, everyone just wanted stuff that is comfortable, and it's kind of played out to like this year, and it'll probably play out to next year. And obviously, once everyone starts getting a bit more out and about and back in the city, or even if they do, like their clothes will start to tighten up. So everyone just wants comfort wear at the moment. Yeah. Same with entertainment; it's moved towards like you just want stuff at the access of your phone. So it's exciting. But yeah, Spotify leading the way.
I think to sort of piggyback on what you just said in terms of like going out, not even on topic or anything like that, but even streetwear going out, like when like you used to go try and rock up to a pub. I can remember, for example, going to the Mean Fiddler. If you had a hoodie on, there's zero chance that you could ever get into a pub like that.
Trackies are a big one. Like
trackies are moving towards it as well because they're sort of chino-y. It's like the evolution of jeans, chinos, and now it's like track pants are sort of coming through.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
My mum used to say, like, don't go out to town in track pants because you look like we used to call it like hoary back home.
Yeah.
It looks like you're hoary. So yeah, it's changing.
Yeah. Shout out to the mean fiddler. Next topic is
Let me in.
Yeah. Next topic is VeeFriends by Gary Vee. He dropped his highly anticipated NFT project probably a week and a bit ago now. We've had a week to digest it, look into it. You've mentioned as well, it's like interesting to see how it could potentially replicate into something YKTR in the future. I think I just made that word up, YKTR.
Yeah.
But definitely the whole point of his project was to really show how to do an NFT project that's not just a piece of artwork, how you can build a community and how you can add value to people's lives.
What do you think of Logan Paul's one at the start? I thought that was really good when he done the Pokemon breaks as well.
I think, because I think that celebrated what it was. Like you were a part of a moment. So there was... you weren't just buying a fancy piece of artwork. You were buying, this is a point in time, and it also allowed people to buy into a physical break as well. So I think if you bought into the break, that's when you got the card for it. And then obviously he's done other cards where you can buy since off the back of it. But his first one was purely off the back of opening up the Pokemon card boxes. So you're always celebrating a moment. And then I can only, you'd be able to track how much that's worth now on some sort of shop.
Yeah, for sure. I think people were trying to flip him straight away. But yeah, Gary Vee, obviously everyone knows he's my guy and I was sort of paying attention. Lukey sort of called it early. Like he was drawing all these pictures. He calls them VeeFriends. I heard him on the Kyle and Jackie O show, just a micro clip of it. And he wants to build that into like TV shows and theme parks. And someone's going like, oh, Gary Vee, are you going to be the next Mickey Mouse? He goes, no, I'm going to be the next Walt Disney. So he's controlling the IP and he wants to... He's always been about positivity and all that sort of stuff as well. So off the back of this NFT, he wants to build like cartoon shows and like I said, theme parks and build out the IP that he controls. And he's going to spend the next 40 years of his life doing it. But the initial community off the back of that, what he's got is crazy. So we've done the numbers on it. He's going to make a fuckload of money as it is. In ETH, you have to pay for it in Ethereum. So that fluctuated heaps today. So he would have lost a bit of money, but now he'll start to make it back. And the main thing is you get to go to VCon, which is like he's known, he gets paid $100,000 to go to speaking gigs and do a
when he came to Sydney and we both went to that.
Yeah, and like he gets paid $100,000 per speech, bro. That's how good he is. So now instead of him going around to everyone else's, he's going to host it. Imagine the types of guests he's going to get, and if you've bought one of these NFTs, you got access to that for the next 3 years. And the great thing about NFTs, which we talked about, so he's got one called Gift Goat. So on Gift Goat, you get 6 presents.
I've just got them all up here. There is literally hundreds of them, but Gift Goat, I'll find that one.
Fuck it, let's just buy one today.
Gift Goat, so it's actually sold out. Gift Goat is sold out. You get
6 gifts a year.
Would find 12-month period to activate this token.
Yeah. You get 6 gifts a year, and then like he goes, once people realize how good their first gift is, and they might go to VCon and realize that's not for them, they're just going to pass it on. And like that's how basic
it's just a doodle.
Yeah, it's like stuff that we could draw now. And he's always talking. He's like, yeah, I'm like really good at doodling. I was like, fuck, like anyone could draw that.
Yeah.
But obviously off the back of that, he had a game plan. He marketed it perfectly. It's community based. He's sort of built different levels to it as well, which we're going to talk about in the NRL side, where he's got gold, platinum, peacock, or some shit like that. So he's taken all the knowledge that he's had over the course of his whole life and put together this package. The one other person I'm waiting for is Mr. Beast.
Yes, yeah. He would be a real interesting one. Like the way that he can just, like for example, I think Mr. Beast Burger is like one of the smartest ideas going around in the YouTube culture.
Break that down.
So basically it's called Hot Kitchen. I don't know the exact word for it, but let's say the cafe that we go to of a morning, he sells his burger rights to them so they can make it and deliver it via Uber Eats. So he's just using their kitchen resources, providing him with the recipe.
So it's like the Uber of burgers.
Yeah, but the producting is all on brand, but he has no kitchen expense and he can deliver it all across America. So that'll be an interesting one if you are catching up with Grace, because I know she knows people in his world to try and figure out. And she's dropped NFTs. They had that
feet one, eh?
Yeah, that real funny one that all those creators under her click banner have dropped an NFT.
Man, toes are a thing right now. Like, do you know Dom Thomas?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, he put that one up on the story on Sunday and he goes, someone was asking him if they could give him a couple $100 for a picture of his feet.
Chicks or dudes? Just anyone? Hey.
Someone. Some Toey can.
Wanted to monetize the podcast.
Yeah.
Here we go. So Gary V, I think part of it as well, like the drawings of it, it's him memeing everyone just thought NFTs was just art. And that's all it is. It's like, artists can just sell their art and then move on from it. Exactly right. So him being just drawing like a kiddie's goat, or like he's got so many things. I'll read out a couple of them. You've got in the library, you've got adventurous astronaut, amped IA, amicable anchovy, aspiring alpaca.
And basically what they do, each one allows you a different thing. So one of them is you can go sit courtside with him at a New York's game, or the bigger ones are like you can spend 90 minutes with him 2 times a year. Or I think the biggest one is like he gets to be your mentor. So obviously there's a lot of value and from top to bottom. One of them might be go play table tennis with them.
Yeah.
I'll fucking pay for that.
D-Rock donkey? I'll buy that one. And hang out with D-Rock, you know?
But yeah, obviously Gary V, he's the guy. He pays attention to all this sort of stuff. And I was listening to all this content leading up to it. He goes, I'm just sitting back paying attention, see what's going on. But I'm listening to a lot of this content moving forward and just sort of see how we can do it either personally or through YKTR. So, and we're a little bit behind in terms of, like, you don't even have a crypto wallet. Like, no one in here has crypto except for me. So
I do. Just a little kiddie's one, though.
Satoshi, yeah. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, we couldn't go like, this is going to cost a bit of ETH. But yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is. Moving into the next topic, you mentioned crypto taking a bit of a hiding at the moment. Sort of came back today, just before we started recording the potty. That's sort of probably the first big dip that you've seen since you've dabbled?
Yeah. I read about a lot of this stuff. I remember when Gary Vee used to talk about entrepreneurship and he goes, there's going to be a crash, and it happened to be COVID, and like, if you can survive this, you'll be okay. And all the information that I listened to, and we talked about Twitter before, I spend a lot of time on Twitter reading and researching. Everyone says there's going to be a crash. Like, then this is I don't know if this is the massive dip or if it's going to go lower and lower, but I'm expecting it. I'm not panicking. I'm still holding. And yeah, it is what it is. Like, last week I lost like $18,000. So in terms of, but then that's money that I've put in and it's gone up in value and it's come back down. I don't know what it actually is compared to what I've, my initial investment.
Part of your dollar cost averaging as well. You're putting in money that you're prepared to lose in that sense.
And that's what dollar cost averaging is. It sort of limits those types of things. So if I went in last week and I had 50K and I just rolled it all through, man, I would have been in trouble. So I would have lost a fuckload of money.
Normally on 10 in the can.
Yeah. So yeah, like with me, I'm unemotional for a lot of these things. I think when you've built a business, this has given me a great skill set in life that you're happy to wait. Like, it's like when you build a business, bro, there's fucking some really rough days at the start, and you just, if you trust your long-term vision, and they always say, if in doubt, zoom out, which is the term that they use within crypto. So so this time last year I was worth 9,000, currently worth like 38 to 40,000. Like, that's what you mean. So you might have dipped 10% yesterday, but if you zoom out, it's not so bad.
You just keep hodling, baby.
See you in 10 years, guys. And
keep hodling.
I'll still be here working.
Next one is NFT chat and how it could be linked in the NFL.
Right, there we go.
NRL. I said NFL. NRL.
Yeah. So I talked about this before. So me and Luke Carey went for Bricky the other day. I think we'll go for Bricky soon. And we sort of talked about crypto and all this sort of stuff. But the NFT chat was a super exciting one. And the way I saw it is, I had it written down here somewhere. But say there's every NRL player has an NFT attached to the name. So say Sam Walker, and then you've got your base NFTs, and there's 500 units of those, and you sell each of those for $100. So they potentially could make $50,000 off their own IP. And then off the back of that, the same way Gary Vee's got like a higher level one, same way sports cards, same way movie tickets, there's gold class. You have these different types of levels. So say you've got 5 gold NFTs and they're worth $20,000 and you're Cameron Munster. So Cameron Munster's got these 5 and 5 businesses choose to invest in them. But if they are, and a part of the package of the gold packages, you get a signed Melbourne jersey from Cameron Munster. You get to go have dinner with him 3 times a year. You get to go to an Origin game and sit where his family sits. And you create this really good experience. I think a lot of brands would start to invest their money, not so much in the team, but also in the individual player as well. So there's businesses spending $25K on signage on the side of the field. I feel like this is a better way to do it. And this is something that could really work, in my opinion. So if you say you got your base ones which are worth $50,000 all up, and you've got your gold ones, and you've got bronze and silvers. A player could potentially be making an extra $150,000 a year.
Nice little Bunsen.
Yeah, nice little side burner. And the thing is, then you start to get players caring about their personal brand. Once they care about their personal brand, like they don't go out and fuck up, and because they know there's a consequence because it's attached to it as well. And the other side of that is Sam Walker comes through and we go, fuck, he's going to be a gun. Let me invest into his NFTs early. I buy 10 of them for $1,000. Sam Walker comes in, first 3 games, starts to kill it. His NFTs are worth $300 now. I've made $2,000. I've made money off that. And this is what you learn in doing with sports cards and stuff like that. And there's element of gambling, which is massive in Australia as well. So, and then say like, all right, cool. I want to sell off 3 of these so I can get my initial investment back. Sell those for $900. Sam Walker would also get a clip of that as well. So say it's like 10. So say original token is $100, and every time he sells it on, he gets a 10% clip. If that becomes $1,000, he gets $100 of that. So he's always monetizing off his personal IP. As a fan, we can get behind individuals and support them. As a business, you can get one-on-one and start to build really good relationships with NRL players, and I think they need it. So I think this is a long way off. Trust me, I do understand this, but I think this is the way forward.
Definitely, it'll adapt. Like we're obviously, I feels like we're like 5 years behind, like the America sometimes with the way that things come through. Would you agree?
I think basketball is very forefront, and we're basketball fans. So
do the players with any of the Top Shots highlights, they
get a clip? So
they get a clip back of all their highlights.
The Player Association owns half a Top Shot. That's why they push it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why our Player Association's got to get to the point where we're actually partners within the game with the NRL. So it's going to take a lot of time, and there's a lot of power up there and a lot of ego. So
a few more coffee with Clint.
Yeah. But yeah, like that NFT, like imagine if players actually controlled their IP, because the NRL controls their IP right now. So like, for example, we can't film people on game day because the NRL owns their IP on that day. So I think the next CBA, I'll be fighting for IP to come back to players.
Yeah.
And that way they could monetize off their own name outside of the salary cap, but within reason as well.
Yeah.
And then say if I built the platform that sold NFTs and we got clips, you could clip back the NRL, because in theory we are using the NRL licensee and their product and their resources. But I don't know. I think we're flat out getting rules right at the moment. So
yeah.
But if you want to move the game forward, this is how you do it.
100%. I think it just like moving it into that next generation of technology. I think it's definitely inevitable that something like this will come along. It would be cool to see someone like the NRL adopt something like this. It feels
like
the
forefront of it. And I feel like they could.
Yeah, because you don't want to get. It feels like something like the AFL would just do some reason. Like
AFL,
I think
so
something.
too. Yeah,
AFL sometimes feel a little bit more progressive in this sort of stuff.
I feel like they are. Yeah,
but if the NRL can dabble in this early, I think it'll be mad. So
I think Players Association, I think like we sort of talked about yesterday, but I think players are going to start standing up against fans.
Mm-hmm. We got one straight off like on our YouTube comments last night. It's like, dude,
I think we just start blocking.
I do. I just like brush it. Like see you later. Like I don't.
Because there's so many people that love our content and media, and we just like, and there's people that are trying to bring us down. So let's just.
And it's the lowest of lowest percentages as well. When you think of a video, let's say it's got 5K views, and you get one Billy Goat comment. That's like that's a real low percentage of people that do it. But it's. And like Jackson said, it's the empathy thing, blah, blah, blah. But it's also just not on. Just don't be a Billy Goat.
NFTs, NRL. Let's collab.
Let's go. Until next episode of YKTR Trending, Lukey here, Ice, signing out.
Hopefully we're recording. Laters.
We are recording.
Cool.